In a remote land, there is a legend about this grand estate, with tales of incredible riches hidden within. But the house doesn't want to give it up. Tonight, these 7 people have traveled halfway around the world in search of these riches. They have no idea what shocking surprises await them.
Oh my God!
And only one of them will ultimately leave with the fortune. Inside, the estate of panic.
As a cowgirl, I think that I can survive a night in a state of panic because when you rodeo and you're up against a bull, you don't know what's going to happen, and you just forge ahead.
I'm not intimidated by anybody, but I'm sure people, when they see my height and they see my hair, it's probably going to intimidate most people, but I'm going to use that to my advantage.
I'm tired of everybody underestimating me and thinking that I'm this cheerleader who can't get out of her comfort zone. I'm doing it for me. I'm going to prove everybody wrong.
The place is huge.
Holy crap.
It smells kind of like my grandma's house.
I do not get a good feeling about this. I'm gonna be the guy that messes with people. I push buttons, and I try to keep people off balance just a little bit.
Oh, visitors, what a surprise. So glad you could make it. Welcome to my estate. It's not just any estate, this is the estate of panic. We're gonna have a love-hate relationship, you and I. You're gonna love grabbing money, but you're gonna hate what I put you through to get it. Nothing here is as it seems. You'll find every room in this estate to be frustrating, scary, nasty, disgusting.
Right.
Every room is also chock-a-block full of cash. I knew you'd be happy about that part. Now, in order to get it, you're gonna have to keep your wits about you, while everyone else will be losing theirs. So tonight, I'm going to send you to different rooms in this estate. In each room, there's thousands and thousands of dollars in cash. I want you to get in, get the money, deal with any unpleasantness, and then get out. I'll give you a word of warning. If you get greedy, and you're the last one to leave the room, you'll be locked in and we'll never see you again. But don't rush in and rush out either, because there's a lot of money in the room. It's hidden, it's hard to find, but it's there. Thousands of dollars. Out of all of you who make it back here, whoever has the least amount in their pockets will also be done for the night. In other words, every room will claim 2 victims. So it's really easy. Be the last to leave, or leave with the least, and you'll get to see what meeting Rupert's all about. Let's make this interesting. I put a pair of slippers in the first room. Whoever finds both slippers and brings them back to me gets an extra $1,000.
Nice.
Good to know. Okay.
What color are these slippers?
They're the color of money. Now, this room is best appreciated barefoot, so if you could all take your shoes and socks off.
All I could think about was the disgusting stuff I was gonna have to step in and the fact that I was gonna be screaming my head off.
Let's go to the room, shall we? Follow me.
Don't forget, oh my God, can we wear the slippers?
Remember, get in, get the money, deal with the unpleasantness, and then get out.
You know, barefoot going in leaves you completely defenseless. I'm used to wearing my cowboy boots and going to the arena. I was terrified.
My electric room will be the ultimate test of nerve. A simple touch will send shocks through their bodies. There are thousands of dollars hidden in these electric cords. And I put a big pile of bills through this maze of wires here. But will it be worth the pain? Just one more thing. This room's a real turn on.
Oh my God.
Go. Let's do this.
All you see are these wires. And I'm like, oh, well, this isn't bad. It's an obstacle course.
That's right, Kristen. An obstacle course with one shocking difference.
This is the state of panic, and it's called that for a reason. We're getting electrocuted, and this wasn't like a little zap. It ran through your whole body where you were shaking from the pain.
Go. Crap, what are the wires doing?
All I saw were little rolls of money, and they were $100 bills hanging on these wires that were electrocuting you. It went through your hands, to your fingers, to your toes. I knew I had to grab all these rolls and deal with the pain. Oh my God.
Make it work, Chris. Make it work. Crap. Ow! Wow, that hurt. That was electricity. I felt like a rat in a maze that kept getting shocked, and it was like I knew better. I didn't want to touch the wire, and every single time I grabbed it, it freaking hurt. Ow!
Getting shocked just feels like somebody just punched you in every direction.
I'm afraid.
Those shocks, man, they were killer. So then I decided to go Marine style and just like barrel underneath the wires. Anything low, that's what I was after.
I'm gonna find those slippers. For $1,000, I was on a mission.
I could see a little smidgen of a slipper sticking out from underneath the light. So I grabbed it. Didn't see the second one. There was the other slipper. So I put that in there.
The whole front of his shirt was full, and I saw him grab the slippers. So I knew he was safe. $1,000 just for the slippers? I hate him.
Oh, Miriam, don't hate him. He wasn't smart enough to put them on to stop himself from being shocked.
Ow! Wow, okay. Woo! Oh, gross. Oh, gross. Oh, gross. Oh, gross. Oh, man. Oh, man.
I have no idea why I kept reaching for that money. Every time it shocked me, I just was like, I can't do this. This is ridiculous, but I can't let that room win, you know? I'm stronger than that.
And I made it all the way around the room, and I was like, but I realized it was really just like fives and ones.
Most of those bills were $1s and $5 bills. I know for a fact that the money that I went for that was on that wire, they were all 50s and they were all 100s. The more pain I had to go through, the better the reward was.
Okay, so he thinks he has the room figured out. Maybe I should take it up a notch.
When the lights went off, that's when I noticed how claustrophobic the room was, which is my worst fear.
Wow!
Ow. It's getting worse.
Oh, this is just mean. Keep looking for money. Keep looking for money. It's not fair.
Oh, hell to the no.
Everybody was still looking for money. And I was like, screw it, I'm leaving. You guys fight over the rest of the money.
Don't get too greedy. You might get stuck in the room.
Oh, God. Oh, my God! Oh, why do I keep doing this?
The
guy in the orange shirt was freaking out. He was screaming more than me, and I'm a woman.
Come on.
Are you throwing up? Are you okay?
I'm fine.
I decided it was time to leave, and I hit the door.
I see the older guy go out, and then I see the other guy, and he's still sitting there. I'm like, what is he working on a school project? At this point, I'm exhausted, and it was all I could do to reach my hand up.
I don't want it that bad. I do not want it that bad.
I literally pulled these light units apart by unscrewing them, thinking there was money inside the chambers.
Ow!
I just did not want to receive any further shocks.
It was down to like 3 people left in the room. I didn't want to be the last one out.
God. Oh my God.
Ow! So I just called it quits.
Everybody who was coming out, I was kind of surprised. I was like, wow, I didn't think she would make it. Wow, I didn't think he would make it.
Whew! Wore me out. Hopefully I made it out with enough cash to keep moving here because that was ridiculous.
I had no idea who was left in the room. I don't see anybody else, so I'm like, oh, I have to get out.
Oh my God, somebody was getting closer to the other door, so I gotta get to the door as fast as I can.
The money is blinding you. One of you is not making it out.
Oh, that's not money. I was so far. Rupert. Wait.
Well, Brian was the last one in the room, so he was trapped in there and we'll never see him again.
Ow! Ow!
He'll be fine. I think he's had plenty of shock therapy. David, you got the slippers.
I got him.
You know what that means?
More money, more money, more money!
That gives you an extra $1,000 added to your total. But do you know what the soul of those slippers are?
Oh, they're rubber.
Oh, you could have wore them, and you would have been electrocuted.
Duh.
Oh, hell to the no.
Yes, well, could have made it a lot easier in there. Kristen. Hi.
Hi.
How was it for you in there?
It was terrible. It hurt.
Well, even though you got a lot of money out of the room, 2 of you didn't do that well. So we need to get down to some business and send one of you away from here. Kristen, could you step forward, please?
I knew it.
And Nikki, step forward, please. Kristen.
Yeah.
How well do you think you did in there?
I don't think I did very well. I was just trying to get through the room.
Nikki?
I thought I did pretty good.
Kristen, you had $1,100. And you had $1,700. It was $600 between you. Kristen, you're going away.
That's okay.
Would you like to go with Rupert?
I don't want to go, Rupert.
I was so upset. I couldn't believe what I had just put myself through. But maybe I'm just a baby and should not be here. This was not a good idea.
All right, everyone, get your shoes back on. The night is young.
After that first room, I don't know what to expect. God knows what else they've got in store.
I'm going to take you to the next room, but we'll make it a little more interesting. Whoever makes the most money in the next room gets a special advantage later on.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Are you up for the challenge?
All right.
Let's go. Try and keep up, will you?
I'm so glad that I made it past the first room, but I was starting to get pretty scared. The not knowing is the hardest part.
Remember, last to leave with the least and you're done.
My cellar is full of the rarest vintages of red wine and green cash. The snakes in the barrels guard more than just grapes. Inside of the bottles are thousands waiting to be uncorked. The cheese might be smelly, but it'll make someone stinking rich. One more surprise. You can't make wine without crushing some grapes.
You're kind of eager. Okay, this time quit whining. Here you go.
I hesitate as I walk in the door and I'm the first one in. My heart's racing. I'm so freaked out.
There's got to be some money somewhere. Oh, my word.
I see all these freaking snakes all over the place. So I'm shoving the snakes out of the way and I'm just grabbing that money and praying to God these snakes aren't gonna jump at me.
Guys, the snakes are going to be the least of your problems.
Come on. I had to have been going through a barrel or something, and then I heard a big noise from the wall. Oh, God. What is that? And these huge-ass spikes came out of the wall. I heard a big noise from the wall. Oh, God. And these huge-ass spikes came out of the wall. Wow.
It's like Mummy says. Careful, you could poke your eye out.
Go, go, keep going.
But somehow, miraculously, the spikes came to a stop. I ended up finding money on top of a bookcase, and then I looked on the other bookcases, and there was money, and I was like, cool.
The snakes in the barrel scared the crap out of me, so I avoided it like the plague. But then Chris tipped the barrel over, and the snakes went slithering around me anyway. What a jerk. Hold on to snakes. And that was very terrifying.
I'm terrified of snakes, and they were big, and there was a lot of them, and I wasn't gonna go near them.
There were snakes everywhere!
Ah, snakes, anything but snakes.
Come on, don't get hooked.
Oh, you don't like my snakes and spikes? Well, try this.
Then the freaking walls started closing in on us.
They're shrinking, the spikes are going in, snakes are running everywhere. And I'm like, oh, damn.
I thought that there was money in the wine rack, so I went right for that, but there was no money in the wine bottles. Not in the bottles, because I've checked inside the bottles.
We're not finding any money.
No money in the wine bottles, Chris? Look again.
Chris is saying something like, there's no money in these bottles. I've been looking all the while. I could see like 3 or 4 more bottles that had money in them. And instead of just making a big spectacle, I just kind of kept to myself. That's my strategy. Nobody saw money come out, any of them. I got it all.
I went over and I looked at the wine bottles and I didn't see any money. But I think breaking wine bottles like that, that's sacrosanct.
I freaked out. I jumped on the table in the center of the room and I just looked around. And I realized if I was on the table, I wasn't gonna get any money.
I do not want to be in this room anymore.
At one point, the lights started flickering on and off. It was distracting, and I took it as a warning that something was about to happen. I was looking around the room, I saw paintings on the wall. What are you hiding? So the first painting, nothing, but I saw a painting in the corner of the room. So I went over, grabbed it, and there it was. There was a wad of $100 bills there, and I knew that I was safe.
I grabbed the huge wedge of cheese, and I saw a piece of money in it, and I went to grab it out. And Andy said, let me help you, and tries to rip the cheese out of my hands, and I grabbed it back.
Break open the cheese.
I couldn't stand the little man. He's a thief, and he butts in other people's ways.
I was finding money in places that other people had already looked. I found a great deal of money in a table that everyone seemed to have missed. And I tried the cheese, and there was more money in there.
Got some!
Snakes. Hello, snakes.
Where are you going, guys?
The doors don't open!
Okay, what are we not thinking of?
Hey guys, there are the snakes!
What are we not thinking
Are the
of?
snakes loose in here?
We were all ready to leave. The doors wouldn't open, and at that point, something changed, and we stopped working against each other and started working together. We'll be in here forever, I swear.
That's because there's more money in here. Underneath the bottles. Underneath the bottles.
There's no money in here.
Okay, where else could it be?
At some point, you all have to work together because you're pooling the money. It's for the big prize at the end.
In there.
There's gas in there!
No,
Something
that's
spilled
not
out.
gas. Just look under the tape.
Oh, good idea.
Think clearly.
Think clearly, guys. Be careful of those snakes.
Okay, just look on the floor. Look under some of the hay. Oh, man.
I couldn't believe they all were working together to try and get the money. And I'm thinking, what idiots? You got to get enough money for yourself so your butt don't go home earlier than everybody else.
Something.
All the while, I'm trying to stay close to either door to get out of there as fast as I can, but they weren't opening. And I thought, oh, hell no.
Something has to
We're
come
not
apart.
out here for a reason. So just think.
I was checking the door, and it just wasn't opening, and we were all cramped inside this room, and I was like, I'm never gonna get out of here.
Careful.
Something we're missing, guys. Something we're missing.
Under the straw. Nothing. What can we be missing?
I can't take it.
Can't get out, guys.
No, not letting us out at all.
Damn it! We're not letting us out here for a reason. So just think.
I was checking the door, and it just wasn't opening, and we were all cramped inside this room, and I was like, I'm never gonna get out of here.
Careful.
Something we're missing, guys. Something we're missing.
I can't take it.
Can't get out, guys.
No, not letting us out at all.
Damn it!
Once the doors open, it's gonna be a scramble out of here. So I strategized, and I thought, all right, I gotta get the other people away from the door.
Chris, can we feel in here?
There were these barrels, right? And I knew that there was gonna be money in there.
Looking way down inside.
Hold on, guys.
So I called Chris over, and I was like, dude, get some money in the barrel.
That's it, Chris. Yes, Chris. Yes, well done.
And sure enough, the doors open, and we were out. And Chris was locked in.
Damn it!
Money.
Wine goes so well with steaks, don't you think?
Absolutely.
First of all, Chris is trapped in the wine cellar. You know what that means. We'll never see him again. There could be worse places to be trapped. I think he's getting wrecked right now.
My thoughts and prayers go out for Chris. Nice guy, but there's a lot of strategy in this. It's not just money grab.
So, Nikki, how was that experience for you?
Well, it was frightening to the fact that the room started to close in.
Yeah.
Then there were not only snakes, but there were
Right.
stakes. Whoa!
You don't like snakes?
It's not that I don't like snakes, it's just when I don't know they're there.
Oh, so if I told you that there were pythons in the next room, you'd be okay with it. David?
What?
I should tell you that you got 10 times more than anyone else here.
Me?
You cleaned out that room.
Rock on, baby.
That's why no one else could find any money.
See, cleaned it out. Holla.
All right.
2 of you did really badly.
One of you is going away. Miriam, would you step forward, please? Andy, step forward. Thanks to David getting most of the money, your totals were both very low. How well do you think you did?
I did really bad. I didn't want to go anywhere near the snakes, and I don't think I got any money.
Andy?
I think I did really bad. But here's why. You can't break good red wine. So I just couldn't in my heart do that.
Chateau de Panique?
Yeah.
There's a lot of money in the bottles. In the bottles. David figured that out. Andy? You made $580. Miriam, you made $340. Miriam, if you'd like to go with Rupert.
That is probably one of the worst things I've ever endured. And the fact that I had to endure that and still not collect enough money to go into the third room, it's kind of upsetting. And Andy, of all people, was a little money grubber. Wish I would have flicked him off and walked away.
All right, Andy, step back into line. Thank you. David, you got the most money in the last round, so I promised you an advantage. I'm going to give you something. Gloves. Wear them well.
I don't have any clue what they're for, but if I gotta grab money, it might be hard grabbing them with these, so I gotta keep that in mind.
One of you tonight can possibly win this fortune.
The total is just over $22,000.
I'm going to take you to the next room. Stay focused. Only one of you can win this. Follow me.
I'm curious, but I'm really apprehensive about going to a third room.
In the freezing room, my money is on ice, or actually in it. 1,000 in this swan, hundreds wrapped inside ice cream bars, lots more in a very deep freeze.
Okay. I know it's been a rough night, but don't freeze up on me.
Oh my God. You gotta be kidding. Oh man. When I first saw that ice, my heart just sunk. As a California cowgirl, I've never had to deal with the cold like that. I just freeze. Doesn't anybody know I'm allergic to the cold?
When I go in the room, I'm like, ah! The visibility was nothing because the whole room was covered with this ice mist. The money was in the ice.
It's freezing. There's ice everywhere. It's misty. I was really happy I had those gloves because it was just a blast of cold.
I'm allergic to the cold. It's just so freezing.
Where are you? You just had to wreck with abandon. Just take your mallet and like crash, crash, crash.
Hey, borrow your gloves for a sec. No chance. No chance.
A bunch of bills were just stuck all over the place. But I noticed that they were mostly small bills.
I saw the money in the ice and I frantically worked on getting it out.
Oh, that's ridiculous. It's just a 1. It's just a 5.
After that, I tried to find bigger money.
I kept finding 5s and 1s and was getting really frustrated. So I jumped into the ice cooler.
Where are you?
And I didn't find any moolah.
Oh, Andy, the treats are inside the ice cream bars.
I saw an ice sculpture, so I smacked the crap out of it. Oh, man. That's when my hammer broke.
This is ridiculous. I'm freezing. Oh my gosh. And
Oh, I'm so screwed.
I just can't do it.
this is ridiculous.
What I wasn't expecting was the snow.
I'm freezing.
It started to get super cold.
This is unbelievable. Freezing.
My hands were so cold, I was worried I might maybe lose them to frostbite.
Oh.
I'm so screwed.
I'm panicking because my hammer's gone. I'm thinking everybody else has a one-up on me because all I got is a friggin' ice pick and no hammer.
Perhaps if you weren't so worried about your hammer, you'd find money in other ways.
It seemed like that there was money coming down in the snowflakes. Every time I look around, there was another bill on the ice.
You guys find money?
No sooner than I was getting that money, like a gleam, there was another hammer right there.
Oh my gosh, this is so freezing.
You gotta be in here.
Yeah, you're not freezing. Listen, look at him. Mr. Cool, calm, and collected.
Hey, I won the glove.
Ah!
Oh, poor Nikki. She's screaming. She thinks she's gonna freeze to death.
Oh, now I lost my screwdriver!
Wherever I went, I was finding small bills. So I tried a different tactic, and I went deep, deep into the deep blocks.
Oh my god.
I can't find anything, man. Can I borrow a couple bucks?
The big, big, big money was at the base of all this ice that was easily stacked 3-4 feet high.
You had to work with these crazy mallets. I was sweating and I was freezing, so the sweat was turning into ice. This was by far the most difficult room.
There you go.
I was trying to keep my eye on the guys to see how much money they were getting and where they were getting it from, but they were moving so fast, I just went about the business of collecting as much money as I could.
You have to check the doors, but you also have to get your money. You're walking a tightrope constantly about what to do, what to do.
Oh my gosh. Hands.
I wanted to be by that door just in case, and Andy had come and checked that door a couple times, but every time it was locked. I saw him flying, and I said, oh, hell no.
Guys! Hey! Guys! Oh!
Well, it looks like Nikki's on ice. Down to you two.
Yeah.
For one of you, this is going to be a potentially lucrative evening. For the other, it'll be a long night of electric shocks, stakes, spikes, and ice for nothing. Well, not nothing. I had a blast. It all really comes down to how much you brought back from my ice room. Andy, how was the experience for you?
That's your world. You're a little strange.
Yeah, I know. It's a living. How was it for you?
It's pretty cold in there. When the snow started, it was pretty crazy.
Gloves help?
Yeah, the gloves help big time, but at the same note, it's kind of hard to pick up the money.
How well do you think you did?
I don't know. It seemed like a lot of small bills, but I got a lot of them, so I don't know.
Andy, how well do you think you did?
A lot of bills, a lot of singles, a lot of fives, so for what it was worth.
Okay, one of you is done. One of you has to leave this room right now. David, you've made a lot of money tonight. You brought a lot of money to the pot. It would be a shame if you didn't get a chance to keep it. Andy, you brought back $1,100. It's pretty good. David, You doubled that, over 2,000. You're staying. Andy, you're done. You can go with Rupert. Well, congratulations, you've made it this far. Last man standing.
Thank you.
You seem a little emotional.
Yeah. My mother passed away, very unexpected from a brain aneurysm a few years ago. We were able to bury some of her ashes with her parents, but we never had a stone because we couldn't afford it.
You know, there's one more challenge. All the money that you've collected tonight, plus all the money collected by those we've left behind, comes to almost $26,000.
Let's do this.
I'm going to give you a chance to make even more. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm going to show you something really cool. This is the estate's vault. There's a fortune in here, but also in here is your biggest nightmare. Well, what are you waiting for? Hidden inside these 200 drawers, you're going to be really happy to hear there is a lot of money. Stacks of cash, David, just sitting there ready for you to grab it. What you have to do is get as much as you can and get out of that door before the locking mechanism is triggered. Now, it takes 10 steel balls to complete the circuit. Once the 10th ball drops, the door will lock, so you better keep count.
Let's do it.
There's a catch. Your ankle is going to be shackled to the ground. You know what? It's too easy. Hold this, will you? Your left wrist is going to be shackled to the wall, and your ankle shackled to the ground. That's too easy.
It's impossible.
Hold that, would you? That's it. Shackled to the wall, shackled to the ground. That's what I call a nasty twist. Thank you, Rupert.
Thanks.
David, now will be a good time to remind you that in order for you to keep all the money that's been won here tonight, you have to get out of that door. In order to do that, you have to get out of the shackles. Somewhere in these 200 safety deposit boxes, there is one key that will undo the handcuffs. Also in these safety deposit boxes, there are tools that you can use to release yourself from the ankle chains. Also in these 200 safety deposit boxes, there's that stuff you want, the money. Get out of the chains and out of the door before it locks, and you get to keep everything. If you don't get out of the chains, you'll be locked in, and you'll lose every cent. Understand?
Yep.
And there's one other option. I really hope you don't have to use it. If it's getting down to the wire, if the seconds are ticking away and you don't think you're going to make it, I want you to yell, "I'm panicking," and hit that red panic button. I'll come bursting in, I'll save you, but my fee for doing that is half your winnings. Every second counts. Come a long way, David. This is it. Ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Good luck.
Thank you. All right, Ma, let's do this.
My main goal was to find the key, because once I get out of the handcuffs, it'd be a lot easier to go through all the drawers. What's the point in grabbing the money? Because if I get locked in that room, I'm done. Oh! So then I saw some big bills come out, and I said, well, let me just take a few, because you never know. Oh, man. Ow! I'm using objects, you know, like books, to try and scrape areas out of those drawers that I couldn't reach.
Oh, come on, Key, please. Oh, come on. Get the damn key.
I noticed the balls are dropping. So I switched to the left side. Ow! I thought, I can't go through anymore. I'm exhausted because my wrists were so sore from those handcuffs. They ripped me apart.
Please.
I got the key. Come on, Mama. One key opened up both handcuffs, and I'm freaking out because I still have one more thing, my ankle. I need to screw these bolts off of this plaque. Sup, balls? None of the wrenches fit, and I'm going through these drawers like crazy. Oh my word. The lights start flashing red. I was a wreck. Oh, balls! One more.
I'm panicking.
You panicked.
Yeah, I did. I wanted to get some money rather than no money.
Well, you don't get to keep any of the money you found in the vault, but you do get half of tonight's take. So...
You still get just under $13,000.
Not too shabby.
It is what it is.
So what went wrong in here?
You know, it took me forever to find the key. When I finally did, I knew I only had a couple minutes left. I got all these wrenches, but none of them were big enough for the bolts. And I knew I didn't have much time, so I just had to panic.
If only you had started on the other side.
All right, David, I'll get you out of the locks.
Thank you.
Prove it.
I did not want to take the chance, after all this hard work, exhaustion, of walking away with nothing.
Thanks, Rupert.
Half your winnings. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now I think you should get out of my house.
With pleasure.
Whew. I didn't get all of it, but we got some of it. Let's get out of here.